I'm Don Ciccone. I'm with the Carnegie Library for the Blind and Physically Handicapped. We are a free public library service for Pennsylvania residents who have difficulty reading standard print because of a visual, physical, or a reading disability. We're part of a national network of libraries that's administered through the Library of Congress, but we serve the whole state of Pennsylvania from Pittsburgh. What we offer are digital audiobooks and downloads that can be played on a special machine that we provide for free. Everything is free, paid for by your federal taxes. We also have downloads that you could put on your personal device, such as an iPad or an iPhone or an Android device. We also have large print books, so I'll show you how all of those work in a moment. As far as being eligible for this service, the visual impairment isn't necessarily blindness. It could be anything that makes it difficult for you to read standard print. So someone with macular degeneration, with cataracts, even someone who just finds large print easier to read than standard print, you are eligible. And we have an application form I can show you how that would work. The physical disability has to do with the hands. So if a person has arthritis, stroke, multiple sclerosis, something where it's difficult to hold a book or turn pages, that is also a qualifying disability, because once you're playing things on audiobook, the buttons are very easy to push. And so someone who has trouble with their hands. Also, if a person had a traumatic brain injury where they can still function as far as hearing things, but sometimes trying to read, the brain has been altered where the comprehension isn't there. So that's also a physical disability that would be qualifying. The reading disabilities would be something like autism spectrum disorder, someone with dyslexia, where once again, hearing is the way people gather information best, but trying to read print, the processing of it and the comprehension isn't there. So we also serve folks with those conditions. It was, I think, it called non-neurotypical conditions. Now the audiobooks are downloaded onto a cartridge. It's a flash drive. It's very similar to a thumb drive or a jump drive that you put into your computer, but it's the size of a cassette, an old-fashioned cassette, but it has a USB port on it. So it's really a solid state thing. There's no moving parts. And we actually download the audiobook specifically for you. We used to have audiobooks, cassettes and things where you would have one title per cassette or per cartridge. But now we have the books downloaded so that when they are put on the cartridge, we actually make up a mailing label. It has your name and address on it and has the books that are on there listed on the other side of the card. So when you receive it, it will come to your house with your name and address showing in this box. You snap the box open, the cartridge is inside. When you're finished with it, you put the cartridge back inside, you just take the label out and throw it away. Then it has our name and address right on the container. If you throw it into the mailbox, there's no postage necessary. It comes back. There is a subsidy that the federal government pays to the post office, so you never have to worry about paying for that yourself. Same thing when we send it out, there's no postage. We provide for free the digital audiobook players provided by the Library of Congress, and we have them here and we send them out, we check them out to you. You can keep it as long as you want, as long as you're using the service. They're very durable, so very seldom do you have a problem. Sometimes over time the battery loses the ability to hold a charge the same way on your cell phone, where you have to eventually do something about that. Then you could send the machine back to us, no postage necessary, and we'll send another one out. The machine is set up so that a person with limited vision, you can see the colors are very bright. They're different shapes and they have different textures on them. So a person who can't see it at all, they can feel it and orient themselves. They also, if you press the play button, it tells you audibly.
Player on. Press any button to learn about its function. Battery charge remaining greater than 29 hours.
So you can see this was just charged up and it will actually hold 29 hours on the battery. There is a cord in here that you can play it on direct current, alternating current anytime you want to, but that also charges up the battery for you. Whenever you press a button, it will tell you the function.
Play, stop. To start or stop playing, volume up, volume, maximum,
So
volume down.
That.
To decrease the volume by one step, press the volume down button.
So that's all very simply done. You can also change the speed at which the voice is delivered. Some people, for instance, if you have a hearing impairment or difficulty with comprehension, you can slow the speed at which the voice is delivering the information, but it won't change the pitch. It just sounds like a normal voice, only slowed down. A person with hearing aids, sometimes they find it isn't how loud something is as much as how quickly someone is speaking. I know I speak very quickly. You can also change the tone. So some people can hear higher voices or frequencies and some hear lower. My wife has 2 hearing aids. She hears my voice a lot easier than my sister. So she would probably push it so that she hears the more bass sound. You can also set it so, we used to have a problem with the cassette players that a person would put a cassette book in, and it's the same when you're reading a printed book in your comfy chair, you might fall asleep. Well, with this, you can press this button and it will turn the machine off if you fall asleep.
Sleep. Pressing the sleep button once will play 15 minutes of the book and then stop the machine.
So that way, if you do fall asleep, the most you would have to go back is 15 minutes. It won't run all the way to the end the way the cassettes would have. That's very helpful. You can rewind and fast forward. The cartridge goes in very easily. It can only fit one way. You cannot break this at all. There's a USB connection way inside there, so it's nothing you can jam up. When you push it in, it clicks.
6. Books.
This cartridge contains several books. It was prepared especially for you.
So when we download the books, we can put up to 20 or 30 books on one cartridge. It's a 4 gigabyte flash drive, so there's a lot of memory. And all you needed to do then is you press the play button. If you hold it down for 3 seconds, it will tell you which books are on that, recorded on that cartridge. And then you can fast forward or rewind until you find the one you want, and then press play, and it will play that audiobook for you. If you decide to move on to another one and then come back, it will still pick up where you left off, so you won't lose anything. Then when you're finished with it, you just take the cartridge back out, put it in the box, and send it back to us. We always advise people, if they're using this service, to order more books initially than you think you're going to want, because often you may find if we sent you 10 books on one cartridge, you may have only really wanted to read 5 of them. Maybe the rest weren't of interest to you. We want to make sure there's always a cartridge coming and going to you at your residence so that you don't run out in between, because it does take a few days in the mail. You can call us also Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have reader advisors that you can talk to about specific titles or authors, subject areas, and they can find something for you and have it downloaded immediately and go on to the mail the next day. So it's a very quick turnaround. Also, you can download the audiobook files, the same files that we download onto the cartridges, you can put onto your personal device. I mentioned a little bit earlier. Here I have an iPad. So there's an app, it's called Bard. Once you sign up with us, you can download this, it's free. And when you get onto it, you can download the audiobooks. It's a little, this light's hitting it, but you can see that it has the same interface as the digital audiobook player. And so if you wanted to play a book, you would just hit the play button. And you would be able to play the book on your own device. For people who are not able to see this, that you can't feel the buttons, there is a way on these devices. If you go under your control panel and you look at the settings, and if you turn on accessibility, you can actually make it so that when you touch the screen where there's no button, it won't do anything. If you touch it where there is a button, it will tell you the function audibly. And then if you tap the screen twice, it will turn it on for you. So a person who has no ability to see this at all can still operate using the downloads. That's not of interest to everybody, but it is an option, and it gives you access to anything immediately, any book that we have. Oh, incidentally, because we are not just storing one title per cartridge on the shelf, and we do download them for you specifically, we're never out of a book because we have them stored as a virtual file. We could have hundreds of people ask for the same book and we can send them out because we're just downloading it onto the cartridge. So if you have a book discussion group and 30 people want to read the same book on audio cartridge, some of them, the members might want large print books or regular standard print. You can all be in the same program, the same book club or book discussion group. Often at your library, they can help you to access things so that everyone can be in the same program, which I think is very helpful. A lot of times people in senior high rises or senior centers, they'll do this as well. Choose a book that everyone can use in their different preferred medium. We also have large print books. We have quite a few of them. Most of the public libraries, your local library, has a selection of large print books, which are easier for a person with low vision to read. It's even if you can read standard print, often your eyes will fatigue after a short time from trying to strain to see the smaller typeface. These are, this is called Dewey. It's a book about a cat. It's a true story. It's a fun little story. As you can see, the print is very, very large. The contrast is good, so that if you have a little difficulty, your eyes won't get fatigued. but it's just the same size as a regular book. It's not some giant thing. It's they do this very well. They come to your house in a zippered mailing bag. So it's a cloth bag, and you put it in there, and you just zip it back up. With this one, there's a label that has your name showing. And then when you're finished, instead of throwing the label away, you just turn it over and put it back in the slot. And when you drop it in the mail, it has our address. Once again, no postage necessary. It comes straight to us without any intervention. Just drop it in the mailbox or hand it to your postman. So those are the major services we have. The application form, because this is administered for people specifically who need to use this service, there is a form that has to be certified, but that's actually very easy to do. It has an explanation of what these services are and who's eligible to certify it. But it will have a place for you to fill out your name and address. And for the certifying authority, it could be, if it's a visual impairment or a physical disability with the hands, any number of people in their professional capacity can certify this for you. It could be a person in the medical profession, a doctor or a nurse, but it could also be a public welfare agency worker, a social worker, caseworker, counselor, rehabilitation teacher, also a librarian. So if you wanted to sign up for this service, if you can get this off of our website, and I'll tell you what that is, but you may just want to go to your local public library, ask the person at the desk. They can bring this up on their screen and actually fill it out and print it out there for you, and then they can certify it, get back to us so you can be signed up very quickly. So I always like to mention the librarian, because a lot of people think it has to be a physician, and that's not the case. We also will ask you which of the services you want. The digital audiobook player, the downloadables, the large print, Braille also is available. We have headphones for privacy if you want to be reading something while someone has the TV on, or if you have a hearing impairment, sometimes it makes it easier to hear. In addition to audiobooks, we have a whole list of magazines. You can't read them there, but we have magazines that are recorded. So you can sign up for any or all of them, and they would download them onto the same kind of cartridge that we download the audiobooks onto, and there it is. So they would have them every month. They would say they would put August's on, and you would receive them. When you send the cartridge back, they will download September's and send them back out to you, like a regular circulating subscription for a magazine, for a lot of magazines. Then we also ask you, it's a reader interest survey, the kinds of books you want. A lot of people will say, well, I just want to have them when I call you, or I'll send lists in of books from our catalog, online catalog, or just things you might have heard about that other people recommended. And we can send only the things you want. But a lot of people find they're reading a lot more because it's so convenient and easy to do. So we ask you subject areas, whether you like mysteries, biography, romance, history, something like that, just so we'll have something to work with to send you. You can also tell us authors. If you have a specific group of authors that you like, we can look through those and send them to you as well. And we also serve young people. So anyone, we have children, we have children's books and magazines, so any age group. And if you have any questions about this, you can contact us directly. Our phone number here, we have a toll-free number. Once again, even though this is for all over the country, we serve anyone in Pennsylvania who needs this. And our phone number, toll-free, is 800-242-0586. Our website is www.carnegielibrary, it's all one word, .org/LBPH, for Library for the Blind and Physically Handicapped. You can also email us at lbph@carnegielibrary.org. In addition, you can contact your local library. You can talk to someone in the Bridgeville Public Library, and they can help you to get these resources. They also have a lot of other resources there. If you found that using a library is difficult because of how they were when we were younger, there's a lot more assistive technology. It's easier to get around if you're a wheelchair user. If you have low vision, there are technologies on the computers that the librarians and library assistants and the clerical staff can help you to search for things, because so much now is only accessible online. So if you need help from the Allegheny County Health Department or the Area Association on Aging, Bureau of Blindness and Visual Services, they can help you to access all of these things and get it up on the computer in larger font, or they can do it with an audio output. They can do all sorts of things to help you to get back in touch with some of the places that might have been kind of out of reach for you. So we work hand in hand with them. We like to keep people visiting the local library for whatever programs and services that they offer. But this is sort of just an addition to it to make it easier for you to keep in touch with reading. It helps keep the mind sharp. It's lots of entertainment, a lot of educational information. That's pretty much everything that we have to offer. So let us know if we can help you, and don't be a stranger at your local library too. Thanks very much.